Welcome back. I'm Dan.
And folks, I'm Joe, and today we got a great subject for you. It's actually just recently in the news the last few days. But first, folks, before Dan tells you about the subject, introduces you to the subject, please like, share, subscribe, bang the notification bell. It helps us, it helps you, and it helps us in the algorithm also. So, folks, we appreciate you being here. We know you can be anywhere else, but you chose to be with us. We thank you for that. And I'll turn it over to Dan to introduce this important subject.
All right, folks. Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but Thailand has slashed its 60-day visa-free issue to 30 days. Well, back to 30 days. And why? Because lots of Western tourists have committed all types of crime, as well as bad behavior that's technically not criminal, but still unwelcome behavior nonetheless. And we're going to get into that soon, as well as all the criminals, like organized criminals, that took advantage of the system. So, Joe, what can you tell us a little about it?
Well, again, here they wanted a 60-day now, and they I believe this 30-day. I've heard a couple of different things. I guess as of March 20th, and I heard from someone else May 1st. The Thailand, whatever it is, we know for sure that they're slashing the visa exemption for tourists from 60 days to just 30 days. And some people I've talked to have complained about it. Some are saying it's just the way it is. Now, Dan,
Yes.
with this, they did this 60-day back in July 2024 to boost tourism. And as of March 20th, I should say as of March 20th, they reduced it back to 30 days. This is per the Bangkok Post and Visa Guide News. So, and like I said, I've heard from someone else, and I have yet to see the source. You know, he swears up and down. I was talking to a gentleman today. Oh, they're going to start at May 1st. Either way, it's cut back to 30. So let's set the stage before I turn this back over to you, Dan. Thailand has been a paradise for many. Beaches, temples, nightlife, you can name it. Thailand is an incredible place and plenty to do for everybody. So when they extended the 60 days, it was really to bring more tourism in, promote the country more. But as per the Bangkok Post, why the flip-flop, Dan? So why are they cutting the visa exemption from 60 to 30 days? Now, before you jump in, Dan, some say it's about the official word is about stopping irregular businesses. Some foreigners are running shady gigs under the radar. That's true. But Dan, do you think it's anything else?
Well, it's not just business, illegitimate businesses and all. It's also street crimes. Surprisingly, a number of foreigners are committing street crimes. They're fighting on the streets. They're drinking or getting high and just passing out. They're just engaging in disrespectful behavior. They just act like they own the place. And I'll give my philosophical take. The shift isn't just about logistics. It's a profound statement on trust and betrayal. Now, Thailand opened its arms, offering freedom to explore, only to be stabbed in the back by those who abused it. It's a classical paradox of hospitality. How do you balance openness with self-preservation? Are we, as global travelers, guests who have overstayed our welcome, or invaders testing the limits of tolerance? Think about that as we dive into the chaos that sparked this.
Dan, everything you said there's nothing wrong so far. But I'll say from my end, for the past several weeks, it's like every time I go to read the news, especially here in Pattaya, there's an incident. There's like an incident every day. The tourism ministry cites illegal work and overstays as a reason for the visa cut. Reuters, this is from Reuters now. This is not from us, folks. We're just citing a source. Reuters warns that Thailand is becoming a hub for criminal activity. Now, maybe in individual cases that's true, but like I said, Thailand, folks, I want to reiterate, Thailand's overall great place.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's also national security has been an issue, and tourism is at risk because of transnational crimes, because some people are afraid to come here. The people with legitimate money who just want to relax and have a good time, They're afraid to come here because of all the criminals, the foreign criminals who are coming here.
And let me point out something as you're saying that, Dan. That's a minority. Most tourists or retirees that live here are good people. But the minority, in most cases, is loud. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, most people, including other foreigners, don't know A from B. When people look just like you and I do, but they behave way differently, how are the Thai authorities supposed to know us from them? They don't, and they can't. So what's it saying officially?
Officially, we just cited a few sources a couple minutes ago. Illegal business activity. Some people are illegally renting condos and when they're not supposed to be. Obviously, I don't believe that's the only reason. There is an uptick in criminal activity. Yes, loud minority of foreigners. I want to say it again: a loud minority of foreigners. Some say some Chinese tourists are in the spotlight. Some from the U.S., U.K., Australia. There was just an article I saw earlier today about an Israeli man in a taxi defecating in the taxi.
Oh yeah.
And the taxi driver basically asked for 1,500 baht, 1,500 baht, which is about, give or take in U.S. dollars, $50, depending on the exchange rate, so he can clean his taxi professionally. And the guy wanted to give him 300. So I'm just basically paraphrasing that article. But so even though it's a minority, it's a loud minority, and it's getting Thailand's, particularly the government's, attention. So, what the philosophical take? Here's the intellectual twist. Basically, a lot of nations they wrestle with their identity. They don't. A lot of nations don't want to feel that they're being walked on, and even if they may not think that outwardly, maybe subconsciously. We're in an age of globalization. Thailand, believe it or not, for some people who've never been here, is very generous with its visa-free embrace. It was a leap of goodwill to the rest of the world. Hey, come in, enjoy our country. But when that faith is met with crime and disrespect, a lot of the locals are feeling betrayed. They feel like the social contract is being broken. Dan.
Yes. I mean, philosophers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau would argue that it's the inevitable clash of the quote-unquote noble savage meeting modern excess. Freedom without responsibility breeds chaos. Are Westerners the barbarians at the gate? Or are we just symptoms of a world too interconnected to control?
Yeah, and with this cut in the visa exemption, let's be real. Thailand has taken other steps to stop money laundering. Look, you're not going to clean anything up overnight. I don't care what country you live in, where you're from, but PayPal, it used to be, you can't, if you're not, I believe you're not a Thai citizen, you can't have a PayPal account anymore. I know you can't use PayPal, I believe. I used to.
Yeah, I can't.
So,
Yeah.
Again, there's things, there's the banks here. They're trying to draw more revenue into the country. So there's a lot of things going on here. So now the visa exemption is the latest, but it's the biggest spotlight because a lot of people love coming here. Some of us actually live here, and others come a couple times a year. They go back and forth to their home country. So it could really affect them.
And it gets pretty grim too. I mean, for example, look at the violent crimes. For example, at the full moon parties on Koh Phangan, there have been cases of gang assaults, sexual attacks on Westerners by Westerners. And some say it's just a hot spot for chaos. There's also the drug crime, nightlife, party zones like Pattaya and Phuket. Westerners are often caught with ecstasy, cocaine, meth, ketamine, you name it. And note also arrests spike in tourist season. There's also property crimes such as European gangs skimming off ATMs with high-tech gear. And who do they rip off? But typically other Europeans or other Westerners. And that's just called madness, but now the worst of them. Child sex crimes. According to the U.S. State Department, in 2023 alone, there were at least 99 cases of internet child trafficking. Western pedophiles exploit this dark underbelly.
And the good news of that, though, the Thai government is cracking down on that. They're a lot better than they were years ago about that. Look, like we've talked about in our past videos, I'm no angel, but I have no tolerance for that kind of behavior,
Nah.
pedophilia. Look, to me,
Yep.
if it was up to me, very libertarian leaning, all drugs would be legal. And I know
Yes.
that's a whole other video, and there's reasons for that. And I'll explain it another time. But
Me
uh,
too.
again,
I'll join you. Yeah.
so uh, so
So Joe, philosophically, what would Immanuel Kant think of this?
well, he would argue these acts pretty much violate the categorical imperative, meaning treating Taiwan not as an end, but as a means to selfish desires. And my saying with this is, if you wouldn't do it in your home country, uh, don't do it here. It's basically a failure of universal ethics. You know, a lot of Westerners, their vices get exasperated here. So look, chances are, if you're an alcoholic back in the United States, sometimes you're going to be one here too if you don't get it looked or get it treated, and sometimes far worse. Again, is Thailand's crackdown justified, or will Thailand retreat in the xenophobia? So, Dan, what else do you have?
Okay, let's see what else. Okay, you already mentioned the Israeli who defecated in the taxi. Okay, two American women apparently bared their asses at Wat Arun for Instagram. They were arrested and fined. Ooh, yeah, you don't do that. One of the sacred cows here in Thailand is Buddhism. The fact that you would be so disrespectful at a temple. Look, would they do that in a church in their home country? I doubt it. Those two Americans, I'd like to see them go to a regular church and bare their asses in front of church or in a church and post that on Instagram. I don't think that'll happen. Oh, on top of that, okay, a breast flash from a car in Phuket. Two women leaned out, flashing crowds, and well, fine and lectured. I'm not complaining about that, but that is technically illegal. Oh yeah, skinny dipping in Pattaya.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are secluded beaches for people to do just that, but yeah, that's it's not something you do in a place like Pattaya. And let me see what else. There's a crocodile selfie bite. A French tourist ignored some signs and got bitten on the leg by a crocodile. Okay, that's more about stupidity. Let's see. Oh no, a drunk Brit peed on a Buddhist statue about 6 years ago.
Now,
Yeah, local often.
now some of these crimes are a few years back. Obviously there's been an uptick recently. I mean, and again, we're living in the age where everyone has a camera, everyone has a cell phone, so a lot of this stuff is, people are taking videos, people are taking photos. Uh, so, one, believe it or not, folks, if you don't know this, a Westerner waved a foot out the window of a car, and that's in a big cultural no actually here. So you should study the culture a little bit before you come here. American throws a beer at a monk in Chiang Mai. That's pretty disrespectful, man. I mean, come on, man. If you don't do it in your home country, don't do it here. What's the philosophical take, Dan?
Okay, these acts are a grotesque theater of ignorance. Sartre would call this bad faith. Westerners denying their responsibility to others, living as if Thailand's a playground without rules. Existential cowardice, freedom divorced from respect. But consider, this is just cultural ignorance, or deeper arrogance of privilege. Are we laughing at clowns or mourning a lost moral compass?
Interesting. There has been some frustration from the locals. A small sector of the locals are furious. So the Thais have had reaction as well. They've demanded it of their governments. So the government acted fast, and this is part of the reason for the cutting the exemption from 60 to 30. Do the Thais have a right to be aggravated? Absolutely. It's
Oh
their
yeah, oh
country.
yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I know we said earlier in the video, a source in Reuters about a criminal hub. That's a very strong word. And folks, to say again, there's crime everywhere. Okay, and it's just that when Westerners are committing it, even though they're a minority, we stick out here. We stick out when they, there's some Thai forums we looked at, and some of them in the forums are ban all foreigners, which I think that's extreme. Some of these people are reacting to their culture being disrespected. And that's a small sect. No more visas. Keep Thailand for Thais. They're tired of Westerners treating our home like a lawless sandbox. It's not just policy. One Thai said it's a cry for our dignity. Yeah, I think banning somebody that's a little bit extreme. But hey, there is a raw frustration that bubbles up inside the locals, a sect of them at least. Now,
Yeah, there was someone said they come here, act like kings, and treat us like slaves. I'd rather see Thailand sink than let these dogs stay. And okay, I have seen enough foreigners who came here and treated Thais like they were servants, and they were more or less like colonial masters, and it was really embarrassing, especially the fact that I looked like those people. But some have said ban every one of these trash foreigners, let them rot in their own countries. Thailand isn't your toilet. Well, very true. And yeah, I can understand what the anger. I wish more decent foreigners would present themselves and prove them otherwise. And let's see, another quote: Westerners are a disease, stealing, raping, killing, cut their visas to zero and lock the borders. Wow, that sounds like another country you and I might have been to at one point, Joe. Drunk idiots throwing beer at monks, I'd smash their heads myself. Get these demons out of my country. They flashed their bodies at our temples.
they're ugly bodies.
Oh, yeah, they're ugly bodies, yeah. Disgusting animals with no brains, jail them for life. Farangs think Thailand is their playground to ruin hope. They choke on their own filth, ban them forever. Here it gets racial. These white monkeys deserve nothing but chains, running naked, screwing on beaches. Hell is too good for them. Ooh.
That's a scathing take on Patty skinny dipping bust for people out there who want to know. Let's round up every falang streaking at full moon and dump them in the sea. Thailand is not your circus. So there's a ton of quotes here, folks, and it's unfortunate that that this is in the spotlight right now, because there's a lot of people, a lot of foreigners that are grateful to be here. The vast majority, people that love it here, that respect the culture, that respect the people, and are grateful. They laugh at our culture, spit in our values. Let them die in their own countries, not ours. This is one Thai with a bitter response to what's been going on lately. The Falangs are parasites, sucking our economy drive and leaving it shit behind. I'm quoting off the source, folks. So I'm not trying to be funny. Purge them all. So economic resentment tied to overstays and illegal work. And there are a lot of overstayers. We talked about that in a past video. There are people here working illegally. And then, yes, there's certain industries in Thailand that are tough to get into. Thailand is a protectionist society, and that's a whole other video too. So keep in mind here, if you want to work here, you have limited options. So you need to come here prepared. Right. These Falangs turn Pattaya into a sewer. Draw them in it and let them fish eat their bones. Let the fish eat their bones. So there you go, folks. What's the philosophical take?
Oh yeah. Or there's one more. Every Farang should be strip searched and whipped before entry. Stop the garbage at the gate. Whoa. Okay, the philosophical. This is Nietzsche's will to power, but in reverse. Finally reclaiming its sovereignty from those who have trampled it. It's a nation asserting its right to exist beyond the tourist gaze. But here's a twist. Is this righteous anger? Or a slide into nationalism? Hegel might see it as a dialectic, openness versus control, yet the synthesis eludes us. Are Thais the victims, or are we all casualties of fractured global ethos? And by the way, much of what these angry Thais are saying are what a lot of nationalist Americans were saying about immigrants. Unfortunately, what a handful of them do, almost everyone else gets a bad rep, and people don't know person A from person B.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, look what's going on in England right now. Yeah, but we're focusing on Thailand.
For sure.
there's the bigger picture. What's next for Thailand and tourists? Obviously, these visa cuts are going to affect a lot of people who made plans. Uh, Thailand. Now, some would say, why not just punish the people committing the criminal acts or that are being disrespectful? And I understand why people would say that, but I guess the Ministry of Tourism wants to send a message out. Hey, knock it off. Thailand it wants to prioritize their security and their cultural integrity. Which fine, it's their right. As Westerners corporately, we must respect their laws or face stricter rules. But potential visa bans looms if this misconduct continues. And believe me, they're not afraid to blacklist you out of this country.
No, they are not.
I
That's
had
why
a,
Joe and I behave ourselves. Joe,
I
you and I
had a
behave-
yeah, I had a friend of mine, and he had too many tourist visas. He was going the country. Besides that, an upstanding citizen, they flagged him. He's out for 5 years. Now, and some probably watching this video would say, well, Joe, he must have done something else. Well, no, he didn't, because I know the guy personally. But again, neither here or there. He got banned. Too many. So we talk about the philosophical issue, this word called globalization that was very popular a few years back. Now there's pushback. This is the end. Is this the end game in Thailand, at least for Thailand, of globalization, Dan?
Well, yeah, it's because they say connection breeds contempt when respect falters. Heidegger would call it being toward death of tourism's innocence. Thailand is forcing us to face our essence as guests, not conquerors or colonizers. Now the question lingers, can we coexist, or is this a twilight of unrestricted travel? Are we witnessing evolution or collapse?
Well, folks, the highlights of the video, we talked about once again being slashed to a 30-day from 60 days. The question is this: what do you think about it? Now, we talked about how people were abusing condos to rent them out. We talked about overstaying, people not on work permits, people just acting any way they want, whether it's drunk and disorderly, abusing the Thai citizens. What is the end game here, Dan? What does the end game here look like?
Well, Westerners have pushed the limits. Ties are done, and to tell you the truth, I do get it. But I wonder if it's a fair move or it's too harsh. At the same time, the end game, well, I think Thais want the money that comes with tourism, but they
course
also
they do.
want respect. Yeah, they
But
also want respect, though.
you got to balance it out, and we got from poop-filled taxis to people urinating on Buddha, people exposing themselves in the temples. We can go on and on. So the question is, folks, do you think it's a fair move to go from a visa non-exempt from 60 to 30, or do you think it's too harsh? Drop your thoughts below. And Dan, what do the people have to do?
Please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification bell. And now you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, also X, formerly known as Twitter. So in the meantime, folks, please take care, whether it's day or night, wherever you
Yep.
are. Have a good one.
Take care, folks. God bless.